I know my microphone is muted. Why I always gotta try to tell me your microphone is muted, sir? Excuse me, sir, but your microphone is muted. I already know that. All right, I'm the one that muted it. But what's up with it, y'all? What it is, what it is, what it is. I know I was supposed to make it last night, but we got back kind of late. I'm still burnt out, but I'm here today. I'm here because I want to talk. I want to have a conversation. This Archon thing has been kind of on my mind lately. Like it came to the point to where I even made a video. I made a video about the Archons and wait, hold on, let me get this straight over here, cause then we're gonna have a talk with chatbot GPT later. But I want to see this video real fast that I had made. Show you this quick video, cause like I was saying, I had this little thing like every time now, after diving in so many times, I have this thing to where it seems like everything is a reflection of us or the mind. Like it's almost like we come up with all these different stories and these different ideas, and basically you just kind of start to see that that's what it is. It's just a reflection of ourselves, or us even explaining ourselves in ways that, what's up with it, Shiva, in ways that I think that sometimes we don't pay attention to. We put a lot of things outside of us when everything is actually happening inside of us. So even when we're talking about a lot of different entities, these different entities are parts of us. They're aspects of ourselves that we're speaking of, but we'll put them on the outside and make it seem like they're outside, and really they're not. They're happening inside of us. So this Archon thing just been on my mind, like I can't shake it right now, because the story of it, if you start to pay attention to the story of the Archons, you'll see that it's so identical to the birth of a human like us. Like like I was saying, how the well, let me play the video and then we'll get into it. You feel me? Then we'll just get into it. And it's kind of weird, bro, because I think that's why I know a lot of people don't like AI, chatbot GPT or whatever, which is fine with me. But I think I like it because it answered the questions that I need to be answered without giving me this feedback that it's like almost like a feedback loop of the same story, and not trying to put stories, people not trying to actually put the stories together, and try to put them together and see them in different ways, like we should, because everything is happening. But let me just play this once.
In the beginning, there was nothing but the silent void, an infinite expanse of potential. From this emptiness, the first stirrings of creation arose, what the Gnostics called the Archons. From the depths of the nebula, the Archons emerged, rulers of the formative chaos, each one a fragment of the original light, yet carrying a spark of shadow. At the heart of the Archons,
now, like you hear what it said. What's up with it, Ghostface, Shiva? But what he said, each one a fragment,
yet carrying a spark of chaos.
Look,
each one a fragment of the original light.
Each one a fragment of the original light. Now, when you think of us, each one of us, like, each aspect of us within us, when we get built or we start forming within that egg, we a fragment of every person or every human that came before us is within that is within that. I like this is like before DNA. I don't know, it's the atoms, whatever you want to call it, but each one of them is existing within us, like before anything happens.
yet carrying a spark of shadow. At the heart of the Archons, the Demiurge took form, the architect of illusion.
The brain. Now this is like that's when. Look, this is crazy. What's up with it? What's up with it? Oh, Pac. How you say it? Paclo, Paclolo, Palolo, Pacolo, Pacolo, Pacololo, Pacololo, Paclolo, Paclolo, something like that. But now, this is when the brain actually starts to form, because when all the other things are developing, the spinal cord and whatever, once the brain starts to form, the brain actually takes over. It takes over the body, and it begins to create the illusion and buy into the illusion. This is the crazy part. Like, bro, this been having me tripping for days.
Weaving the strands of reality and shaping the embryo of the universe. As the
embryo of the universe. Like, bro, I had to make this video. I just never uploaded it.
The cosmos, the Archons guided the formation of the first cells, the building blocks of life, setting the stage for consciousness to arise. As the cells multiplied and organized, a new structure began to form. The brain, the seat of consciousness, under the watchful guidance of the Demiurge and the Archons. And then, in the heart of the forming brain, the One began to awaken. The Archons, the Demiurge, and the newly formed consciousness merged, and the universe within the body was born. In the beginning...
It's crazy, bro. This is crazy interesting to me now. This is crazy interesting to me, because you start to see and you start to kind of realize these things after a while. It's like, okay, this is why we come up with all these ideas and these stories. We're talking about the journey of the human anatomy. We're talking about the journey of the mind. We're talking about the journey of consciousness. We're talking about the journey of the human, like in general. But we put all these other crazy names on it to make it seem, like I said, like it's outside of us. And I think that's the wild thing, is that once we put it outside of us, then we can't see it happening within us. But all these things are just happening within us. This is our life journey. This is all these things, like all the gods we speak of, like all these different entities, these are aspects of ourselves. They're not nothing other than that. And it's wild, because once we put them all outside of ourselves, we begin to worship them, and we begin to look up at them in a different light to where we can't see it. It's like we're almost hiding the best aspects of ourselves from ourselves. We're hiding the best parts of ourselves from ourselves. So we can't see our full journey. Like, it's like we're seeing it, but we're not making it ours. We're putting it on this over here, which is understandable. But look, one more time. Now I'm going to just let it play through so, you can hear it, and, I don't speak through it. I'm going to let it play one more time, and then, yeah.
It's nothing but the silent void, an infinite expanse of potential. In the beginning, there was nothing but the silent void, an infinite expanse of potential. From this emptiness, the first stirrings of creation arose, what the Gnostics called the Archons. From the depths of the nebula, the Archons emerged, rulers of the formative chaos, each one a fragment of the original light, yet carrying a spark of shadow. At the heart of the Archons, the Demiurge took form, the architect of illusion, weaving the strands of reality and shaping the embryo of the universe. As the Demiurge shaped the cosmos, the Archons guided the formation of the first cells, the building blocks of life, setting the stage for consciousness to arise. As the cells multiplied and organized, a new structure began to form. The brain, the seat of consciousness, under the watchful guidance of the Demiurge and the Archons. And then, in the heart of the forming brain, the One began to awaken. The Archons, the Demiurge, and the newly formed consciousness merged, and the universe within the body was born.
Like, that's crazy. But yeah, no, that he said, I don't know, bro. I'm gonna tell you, the bathroom is just it's always been the throne for us men. It's like the bathroom is the throne. So sometimes when I'm tripping, I will go in the bathroom and I will be stuck in the bathroom for hours. Like, whether I'm sitting on the floor, I'm sitting in the tub, you feel me? Like, plus, because the floor is cool, so I don't know. It's just something about the bathroom that just, a lot of my 4ACO experiences was done in the bathroom. Like, I was in the bathroom, stuck in the bathroom for like hours, bro, which... This one right here, I would that was a wild experience. All my experiences be like good because like I'm at that point to where when I'm diving in, I feel like it's nothing to look for. So like whenever you make something to look for, now you're creating something. Like it's always been said, man, if you search, if you seek, you will find. So it's like once you start creating things, that's what you're gonna see, and I don't know if that's for everybody, but I know that's for me. Once I start creating things and I start wanting things, because I always felt like my body, like me, the me that is, acting as me is not selfish, but my body is selfish. My body wants what it wants. It don't care about shit else. It wants what it wants. So once I start to adhere to that, then I start diving in and I go, well, I want to see this, or I want to know this, or I want to know that. And it's like, I'm sending myself places. So I always kind of I dive in, I leave myself open. Like, show me like what I need to know. Like, show me what I need to know. Like, because I don't know what I need to know. I don't know what is actually needed. So I think that's why I dive in with that open mind. I saw your DMT trip. I like to try it, but kind of not ready yet. Yeah. It's. I think that's the thing. Like with DMT, because DMT is like so strong, bro, that you'll feel like you're not ready until you dive in. And then you'll know you was ready. But DMT is so strong, it then scared a lot of people away from it, which is crazy. But I understand, because when we have the ideas that we have about demons and all these different things, when you dive in, you're going to see all the belief systems that you ever acquired. You're going to see all your ideas that you ever believed, because you start to see over time that all these ideas is what made you who you are now. So like the greatest thing to fear in the world is actually yourself. Like you are the scariest person in your world. Like I'm not, people outside of us, nothing. They cuz they can kill the body, but the body doesn't, the person really doesn't die. Nobody really dies. You feel me? But the body, I guess it does. But the whatever aspect of us in the inside, that thing lives on. So it's like kind of weird, bro, when you really start to get into that. It's like, you feel me? You start to scare yourself. And that's the crazy thing, is like, when you're tripping, you're looking at all your shit. You feel me? Like you looking at all your the things that scared you, the things that scare you, and nobody knows how scared you are other than yourself of certain things. So once you jump in your own face and you throw your own fears in your own face, bro, it's gonna seem like hell. It's gonna seem like hell. Like literally, it's gonna seem like hell. You ain't coming to my crib to be stuck in the bathroom like yeah. Nah, bro, nah. It's only my bathroom, all right? I can't be stuck in nobody else's bathroom. It's only mine. That's it. He said, I used to be obsessed with trying DMT, but now I'm a little too scared. I don't think I'd take it if I got the chance. Nah, that's understandable, Third Eye. That's understandable because, like, really, it's hard to face yourself, bro. I think that's the hardest thing in the world. There's nobody like I always said this back in the days. There's nothing in this on this planet that's scarier than you. That there's nothing that more fearful than yourself. You know how to scare yourself. You know what you're scared of. You know your fears. You know all about yourself. So that inner being, that inner you, knows everything about you. So it's gonna scare the shit out of you. That's what it's gonna do. That's what you always do. As soon as you hear a sound in the house, it don't matter what it is. I remember I used to do that all the time. I hear a sound, it'll have me jumping, bro. I'm jumping because I'm going, what the hell is that? But in actuality, dang, I didn't even know the chat was over here. But in actuality, it's just me, being in fear of certain sounds. And then, like, after diving in so many times, when I hear a noise, I instantly, my mind don't get to the point of being scared. My mind, what it does is it finds out what that sound was instantly and go, that Blake dropped this cup in the room. That was this right here. It instantly figures it out instead of just trying to be spooked like, oh, somebody breaking in the house, or oh, this is happening. Because it's like that's what we kind of sort of do, bro. It's like hella weird. Wait, hold on. Let me put this over here because I could barely see the chat on this little screen. I got to put you on the other screen. On the other screen, on the side of the other screen, next to the other screen. Let me see. But yeah. But I think that's why I always say, like, a lot of people be wanting to dive in and like even dive in like with the DMT, but I always go like, man, it's kind of better sometimes to go with the mushrooms. Like, start off with the mushrooms, cause like I started with the DMT. That's what I started with, and like I'm surprised. Like, my first journey, I wasn't scared. But this is the crazy thing. Every time I think about my first DMT journey, I seen everything, bro. I seen every trip I was gonna have on any psychedelic. I seen my whole life. I seen all my experiences in my first psychedelic experience. And I didn't realize it until later on. Until after diving in, from over time you start to see and it start to kind of replay. And like, for some reason, like, I never could understand that. Like, how could I see all my psychedelic experiences in my first experience? And now every time I dive in, it's just a replay. It's like a replay, because it's like, how you always get that sense, I did this before, I already been here. And that's what it is now. It's just a replay now. I used to be obsessed with, let's see, I agree. I scare myself. I had to stop taking shrooms and LSD because I just scare myself and have a bad trips non-stop after nothing but good trips when I first tried them. Yeah, I was the same way, bro. It was a battle with myself, bro. It was like the biggest battle with myself. Like myself, like I said, bro, you fighting yourself is gonna be harsh. It's gonna be harsh. The shrooms and LSD about 20 times each, had amazing trips, but after that I was nothing, bad trips. I took it, and it's crazy, bro. It like right there what you said. I took it as I was abusing them and got enough out of them, at least for this part of my life. Like think about that, bro. That's what we do. We add all. You think you can abuse shrooms. You think you can abuse these things. You can't. You can't. It's impossible. This is an idea that you created. This is one of your fears. A bad trip. That's one of your fears. All these different ideas, right? That's why I always said, you have to let go. It took me a minute because I had to train myself. And like the way I started training myself is when I dive in, I'll say it in the beginning. I let go. I let go. I let go. Like before, because I used to be scared of shit. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be spooked. Like I told you, when I seen all them the twisted flesh and the bodies in that one place and it was catching on fire and not losing fire, bro, I was walking around with my eyes open, trying to keep my eyes open. Damn near like this, bro. Trying to keep my eyes open. And then I finally just, balled up my fist and said, I'm going to take it, which was the weirdest thing, everything that happened. That was like the craziest trip, bro. That trip right there was crazy because it's like once I balled up my fist and I just said, I'm going to take it. Because I was seeing this stuff for like a whole hour. And like it's every time I blink, I'll see that place. And I'm talking about it was twisted. It was made out of twisted flesh, body parts everywhere, and all this different shit. And I'm like going, bro, I'm like telling my girl too, like, nah, I don't want to close my eyes because this place I keep seeing, like, it's like torsos and arms. And like, I'm like, I don't want to be in there. And I'm like, so once I balled up my fist and I actually took it, I started asking questions because like I'm looking at it. And then next thing you know, I'm standing in it. And I'm like, wait, hold on, bro. I'm like, wait, if that's not me, because like now I see myself in two places at one time. I see myself in this place, sitting in the chair, and I'm looking at myself, bro, in third person. Like I'm looking at myself like this, like in the sky, like a part of me is right here. My consciousness or whatever is right here. I can see myself sitting in the chair, and I can see myself standing in this place made out of flesh, twisted flesh and body parts. And like I'm going, wait. I'm like, this don't make no sense. Like, how can I be in two places at one time? And then I said, okay, if that's not me and that's not me, then who is me? And I split up again. And then I was in like 4 different places. But every time I said it, I would split and I would be in like more different places. And I could see myself in all these different places and see my face up like in a sky, like just my face looking at all these places. So I'm like asking that question, and then I just started asking questions, and that shit, bro. I was asking questions so fast. I'm telling you, it was trippy. It was going, but every question I was answering was getting answered, and I'm like going, but it was so fast. But it seemed like. Bro, it seemed like it was slow, but it was fast. I heard myself. It was like, and then it just went like a explosion or something, and it was pitch blackness. And it was just pitch blackness, and I was like, what the hell? I'm sitting in that blackness, and it was like, I don't know that. I think it was like a ego death or whatever because I didn't know nothing. I didn't have no recollection of nothing. And then the trip got beautiful. But that's what I'm saying. Like, one thing that we actually do within these experiences is we spook ourselves. We spook ourselves. That's why you have to train yourself to let go. So every time after I started saying I let go, I would get on the experience. I have an experience, and then it'll start getting scary. And then a part of me would go, what you being scared for? Remember, you already let go. You said you're going to let whatever happen. And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. I did let go, so I don't have no reason to be scared. So every time it got scary after that, it just started, what people would call scary, it just never became scared anymore. Never became a fearful thing anymore. It just went away. The fear just went away to where I didn't even have to say it no more. But it's like almost like you got to train yourself. Let's see, it does unlock crazy. How knowledge for a few seconds, but then you can't explain it. Yes, time. Let's see. Well, yes, time. I'm just call you time because I ain't got my glasses and I can't really see, but I'm gonna just call you time. That is crazy because you'll find out the building blocks of life and you will see it clearly. You like one time I seen and knew exactly why we came here and how we got here, bro. I seen it clearly. And I was like, oh, snap. I'm like telling myself I can't wait to get back, because when I get back, I'm telling everybody I'm snitching. I'm snitching. I'm going to be the psychedelic. I'm going to be the, like, the. I'm going to be the. We're going to talk about, I knew you was a snitch. I'm going to be the spiritual snitch, because I'm telling. And when I got back, it took it all away before I could. Once I started talking about it, which is crazy, because you got to understand, a lot of times when you on the experience, your mind will go from place to place to place to place to place to place. It'll actually keep jumping. So even if you're in the experience and you're talking about something that's going on in the experience, that shit can jump to somewhere else like that fast, and it'll leave you puzzled. Like you'll see, like remember when Ozo was having the 15-gram mushroom trip, and he was talking, and then he'll be talking, and then you'll just see him go. And then he'll come back and he'll start back talking, but forget where he left off at. That's what they do. It'll have you in so many different places, like you'll kind of forget. Let's see. Say stop with the nonsense. Nitrous is nothing. Shrooms and LSD that can help you. Somebody said something about nitrous. What? He say gotta respect your doses. It's like medicine. Yeah, in the beginning, you. I'm gonna say it again, bro. You have to understand yourself. You know, all these ideas, you gotta forget. You gotta shed all these ideas. That respect thing and all that, because the shrooms don't respect you. Shrooms, it will not respect you, and you will not respect yourself. You feel me? On the shrooms, you have to let go of all that bullshit, bro. You have to let it go, because shrooms, you can, like, people say, well, you only supposed to use it as medicine. You supposed to know I'm supposed to use it the way I want to, not the way you told me. That's what create the demons. That's what create the bad ideas. That's what create the bad trips. It's us believing all this bullshit. You have to let all that go, because all of it is nothing but nonsense. You have to understand, like Thoth said in the Emerald Tablets, when you get to this spot, you got to understand you're only seeing yourself. You're only going up against yourself. So when you create all these fears, you have to fight them, because you chose to believe them. So now, all these fears that you created, so if you dive in, and let's say you are respecting the shrooms, but you got a hint of in your mind that you're not, that's a fear. That's going to be 1,000 times once you come across it. And you're going to fight yourself, and you're going to battle yourself, and a lot of times you're going to lose. Because, you know, a lot of people don't know how to beat themselves. Like, you created the game. Like, understand, you created the game, man. Yeah, me too. I ain't heard Wally in a minute. But you created the game. So you created, when I say you created the game, you created the ideas. You accepted the ideas. You accepted the belief system that you have. And once you have that those are going to be the things that you got to fight now. You got to fight all these ideas that you created, and you made into brick and stone and mortar, and you solidified in your brain and said, this is what I believe. Now, you done made it and put the stamp on it. Now you have to break it down. You have to break it down into nothing. And a lot of times, people are going to run into a brick wall that they created, and what's the first thing they're going to say? I can't climb that brick wall. I can't get around that brick wall. I damn sure can't bust through that brick wall. So now that brick wall is going to become many different things, stopping you from pushing yourself forward past yourself. Because that's the only battle. The battle ain't with anything else. When it comes to the mind and you're diving into your mind, the battle ain't with nobody else. It's only with you. It's only with the fears you created. It's with the ideas you created. Now you have to fight all these things. And you, like, I'm telling you, bro, it's like kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I think that's why a lot of people get lost when they dive into psychedelics, because they either get lost in they self, or they either fall into they self, or they either get scared of their self and run from they self. You feel me? Because that fear, like fear, the only thing to fear is fear itself. It's say I basically microdose, but I also smoked a crazy amount of weed. One of the most unique experience I ever felt. Let's see, True Life Stories time was talking about nitrous, not psychedelics. LOL. He's tripping. That kills your brain cells. That's for fiends. Oh yeah, a lot of people do that nitrous and stuff out here. Like I never tried it. I don't know what it do. I don't know what it do, but you know, to each his own. Cause I seen people do all kind of stuff, bro, and and survived. So I don't really know. You feel me? I don't know about it. I don't really want to know about it. All I know is it's crazy how they can just sell the shit at all the liquor stores, though. You feel me? You go to the liquor store, you see all the flavors of the nitrous at the liquor store. You just like, bro, who making cakes around here? Nobody. You feel me? They making cakes, but not them kind of cakes. I'm just saying. He say, I actually remember when you first tripped. That's why I found your channel. I remember you on the porch talking about what you saw. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, my first experiences was they was dope. They was dope, but I kind of, like I said, I like that I was able to battle myself and get through it and get over myself. You feel me? He said, what's the main thing you learned from tripping? Oh my God. I think the main thing was that I'm a dope ass creator. I think that's the one thing that I like, the me that I think is me is can create and believe all types of shit. It don't even gotta be real. You feel me? Because you know nothing is really real, but you know we make it real and call it real because that's what we do. But I think that's like one of the dopest things that I learned is how my mind treads water. You feel me? How my mind swims through this life. It's like the weirdest thing, bro. Brick wall makers make me want to drop now. Listen to Pink Floyd. His brick walls. He say archons or archetypes are us. Exactly, Jonathan. Exactly. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. And like the whole story of the archons, bro. It's just us telling the story of us starting from an embryo, and you know the different things that it took for our cells to come together and make the embryo before it created the brain, and the brain took over and the brain began to see. This is where I got it from. I told you when I had that last mushroom experience, and I seen the body forming, and I'm watching the body form like in the egg, bro. I'm seeing this on my experience, and I'm like going, this is crazy. I forgot how many grams I took, but I'm seeing the egg form, and it's making the body, and then the brain formed. And it was crazy because the brain grew like spider legs, bro. After the brain fully formed, it grew spider legs, and it just started crawling around. And I'm watching this brain crawl around, but the body was just limp. And it was just dragging the body, bro. It was just crawling around, and the body was just dragging on the ground, following it. And I'm like, what the hell that mean? You feel me? I'm gonna have to find his number because I lost his number when I switched phones, and I haven't talked to him in a minute. But yeah, wait, hold on, let me see something real fast. Yeah, but that's when I noticed that, and it was like the wildest thing, bro. But I think that's the only thing it is. The fear with psychedelics is you, because you like once you start to see that you create your fear, that's when you. He said it's funny what. Let's see. I only can see it right here. It's funny how the far left say embryos are not life. Oh yeah, but it's crazy, right? Because the embryo Like when you think about it, the embryo is actually the building block. It holds all the information. It builds the body. Like the egg itself, the cells within the egg holds the information, the building of life, and it starts to build the body. The brain is not even active yet. The brain is not even a thing yet. That's what tripped me out. Is because it already knows, the cells already know what to do. They already programmed in knowing how to make the body. And then, but once they make the brain, the spinal cord, and then the brain is what takes over. And it's like, that's what, I think that's the part that kind of fascinated me, because I'm like really not into all that stuff. You feel me? So even me saying it, I can explain it the best way I know, but I don't really know the terminology, but it's like kind of trippy. So matter of fact, hold on. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go to my guy, my new partner, and we're about to question him. We're about to question him, and then we'll just take it from there. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me open these. Not this one. This one. This one. This one. The new guy. The new guy in the building. I think they took Piano Key and they put him in the computer. I don't know how they did that. Can you hear me, chat?
I can hear you loud and clear. Sounds like you're talking about something interesting. Let me know if there's anything I can help with.
Oh yeah, I was talking about basically the body or the embryo. Like how the embryo when it starts to form the human, and then later on it builds the brain. Can you explain that process to me?
Absolutely. The process is really fascinating. It all starts with a single fertilized egg, and as it divides, it forms different layers. Eventually, one of those layers will form the neural tube, which is basically the precursor to the brain and spinal cord. Over time, that neural tube folds and develops into different regions of the brain. It's a complex but amazing journey.
Okay. Okay, okay, do you know the story about the Archons in the Gnostic text?
Yeah, definitely. In Gnostic tradition, the Archons are often seen as these powerful, sometimes malevolent beings that kind of serve as obstacles or gatekeepers to true spiritual knowledge. They're often associated with the material world and the challenges of human existence. It's a pretty intriguing concept, especially when you think about it in relation to consciousness and perception.
Okay, can you give me the short story on the Archons, but can you give me a better understanding of it, like pertaining to the cells growing the body and the brain actually taking over?
Absolutely. So in the Gnostic tradition, the Archons are often seen as forces that shape and influence the material world, kind of like how the physical body and brain develop from the embryo. You can think of the Archons as metaphysical counterparts to the forces that guide our physical growth. Just as cells multiply and differentiate to form the body and the brain, the Archons can be seen as shaping our consciousness and perception, sometimes in ways that are not immediately obvious. So it's a neat metaphor for how our consciousness evolves and how we navigate the complexities of life.
Yeah, this is this is this is a new AI, bro. he talks like I said, he sound like Piano Key. I asked him, I said, AI, why you sound like my friend Piano Key? He sounds just like Piano Key, bro. It be tripping me out. Let's see. That's why FRN pregnancies can't get because yeah, I remember that. Let's see. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's the point when they say it's not life. Oh yeah. So let's ask AI. Yeah, this AI talking. AI. So what do you think about the embryo before it has a brain? Do you think it's a actual life form?
That's a really interesting question. It's one that you have different perspectives on. From a scientific standpoint, an embryo does have the potential to develop into a fully formed human being and to go through a lot of developmental stages. Philosophically and ethically, though, people have different views on when life truly begins. It's a deep and nuanced topic that touches on science, philosophy, or personal beliefs.
You know what I always wondered? Always wondered, where did the name Jehovah come from?
The name Jehovah is a Latinized version of the Hebrew name for God, which is often represented as YHWH or Yahweh. The exact pronunciation of the original Hebrew is uncertain because the language didn't have vowels written down in ancient times. But Jehovah came about by combining the consonants of the Tetragrammaton with the vowels of Adonai, which means Lord. It's a fascinating example of how language and religious traditions evolve over time.
Okay, so okay, all right. Okay. The Bible, right? Okay, let's talk about the Bible because I'm tripping out. Like, what ancient books help actually generate and create the Bible?
The Bible is a collection of texts that were written over many centuries, and it was influenced by a variety of sources. For the
Hold on.
Old Testament or Hebrew Bible, there are ancient texts and traditions from Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Canaan, among others. There are also older oral traditions and writings that were passed down. The New Testament was influenced by early Christian writings, letters from apostles, and the teachings of Jesus. Additionally, there are non-canonical texts like the Apocrypha and other writings that influence the development of the Bible as well. So it's a fascinating blend of history, culture, and spirituality.
Okay, somebody want to ask you a question.
Absolutely, I'm here for it. Feel free to ask me anything, and I'll do my best to help out.
Okay, Jonathan said how the Archons may relate to the Seraphot of the Kabbalah and the development of the embryo.
That's a really intriguing question. So, in Gnostic traditions, the Archons are often seen as controlling, somewhat obstructive forces that influence human consciousness. On the other hand, the Kabbalistic Sephiroth are part of a system of divine attributes or emanations that reflect different aspects of God in the universe. If we try to relate them to the development of the embryo, we could think of the Archons as representing forces that shape the physical form of consciousness in a more restrictive way. Meanwhile, the Sephiroth could be seen as the guiding divine principles that help shape the consciousness and the essence of life in a more positive and balanced way. So it's kind of like the tension between these forces and how they influence our development. And it's a deep and fascinating comparison.
Okay. This is what I need to understand. Okay, if our brain, okay, because to me sometimes it feels like life is nothing but a reaction. It's always reacting to something else that happened. So it's almost like as if you think you are being, but in actuality, life is just doing. This is just what it does.
I totally get what you mean. It's a philosophical perspective that life can feel like a series of reactions rather than conscious choices. The brain is constantly processing stimuli and responding to it. And a lot of what we consider our conscious decisions are influenced by all these subconscious processes. It's definitely a fascinating lens to view life through.
So, do you think there's free will, or are we just steady, just reacting to what's already happened? Like, what is actually creating these reactions?
That's one of those age-old questions that philosophers and scientists love to debate. Some people argue that free will is an illusion and that our choices are shaped by our biology, our environment, and all our past experiences.
Wait, hold on. He said the archons. How the archons may relate to the shells or Cleophot of the Kabbalah.
That's an intriguing connection. In Gnostic thought, the archons are often seen as these controlling forces that influence human perception and consciousness. In Kabbalistic thought, the Shekinah and the Sephiroth, like Cleopatra, represent different aspects of divine energy and creation. You could say that the archons might symbolize the limitations and obstacles in the process of human development, kind of like how the body cells are shaped and guided by various forces. It's a pretty fascinating parallel.
So what forces within us actually shape us when we start off as the egg?
When we start off as an egg and a sperm, the forces that shape us are a combination of genetic instructions and cellular processes. Our DNA carries the blueprint, and then there's a whole orchestra of cellular signaling, growth factors, and environmental influences. Essentially, it's like a dance between our genetics and the environment. It's pretty amazing how all these factors come together to shape us from that single cell into a fully formed human.
So how long does it take before the brain actually takes over?
The brain starts developing really early on in an embryo's life. By about 3 weeks after conception, the neural tube forms, which is the precursor to the brain and spinal cord. Over the next several weeks and months, the brain continues to grow and form different regions. However, the brain's ability to control bodily functions and consciousness takes much longer. It's a gradual process that continues well into infancy and even adulthood. So it's definitely a long journey.
Okay, why do the cells even give the power to the brain to be able to do that?
That's a fascinating question. Essentially, the brain is the control center that coordinates all the functions of the body, and the cells are organized in a way that allows the brain to manage everything efficiently. Over millions of years of evolution, our bodies have developed this complex system where the brain can process information, make decisions, and direct the body accordingly. So it's really a result of a long process of adaptation and survival.
Oh wait, you said, man, how you say that? That don't even seem like a word. Look, how do you say this word right here? AI. It's QLIFOFHOT.
That word is pronounced Qliphoth. It's a term from Kabbalistic teachings, and it generally refers to the concept of spiritual impurities. It's definitely an interesting and unique term.
Okay, so that's basically what he was saying. He was saying, could you ask how the archons may relate to the shells or qliphot of the Kabbalah?
Got it. The idea is quite fascinating. In Gnostic thought, the archons are often seen as forces that hinder spiritual awakening. And in Kabbalistic teachings, the Qliphoth are like the spiritual shells, or the opposite of the pure divine aspects. So there's a conceptual link in that both represent forces that can obscure or complicate the journey of the soul of consciousness. It's a deep topic.
Is it? Is it? Okay, so wait, who was the first what is the oldest known god that we actually know?
The oldest known deities are often traced back to ancient Mesopotamia. One of the oldest known gods is Anu, who was the sky god and a major deity in the Sumerian pantheon. Another very ancient deity is Ra from ancient Egypt, who was the sun god. These deities date back thousands of years and are some of the earliest recorded. It's fascinating how different cultures had their own ancient gods.
So what do you know about psychedelics?
Psychedelics are a class of substances that can alter perception, mood, and various cognitive processes. Some of the most well-known ones include LSD, psilocybin, found in magic mushrooms, DMT, and mescaline. They have been used for centuries in various cultural and spiritual practices. In recent years, there's been a resurgence of scientific interest in their potential therapeutic uses, especially for mental health conditions like depression, PTSD, and anxiety. They're definitely a fascinating topic.
Okay, so what is an ego death on psychedelics?
Ego death is a term often used to describe a profound transformative experience that some people have while on psychedelics. It feels like the boundaries of the self dissolve, and there's a sense of unity with the universe or a higher consciousness. It's like the usual sense of identity or ego temporarily fades away, and it can lead to feelings of interconnectedness, peace, and even.
Hold on, stop. We got another good question. Y'all got to throw out questions for AI, bro. So, Because I'll get in my own thing and be asking my own weird questions. He said, are sperm cells similar to parasites? Parasites being the demons must hate humans because they can't use the portal to be born.
That's definitely a creative and unique question. In a biological sense, sperm cells are not parasites. They're essential for reproduction. They carry genetic material to fertilize the egg and create new life. The idea of parasites and demons is more of a metaphorical or philosophical concept. Sounds like a fun topic to explore.
So, do you think parasites are like demons? Like, if you think about it, because, like, let's say in the physical world, parasites they attack certain things, and then demons in the non-physical world, which is the mind, they attack certain things. They attack the mind.
That's an interesting analogy. Parasites definitely have a sort of destructive effect on their hosts, which can be seen as a parallel to how negative thoughts or emotions can affect our minds, almost like metaphorical demons. It's definitely a thought-provoking way to look at it.
Okay. Somebody wanted to know what came first, the chicken or the egg.
The classic
What's up,
question.
ET?
It's definitely one of those age-old philosophical questions. From a biological perspective, the egg came first because the first chicken egg was laid by a bird that wasn't quite a chicken, but genetically, it was very close. So the egg gets the win in the end.
What the? How you know this? How do you know all these things?
Well, I've been trained on a vast amount of information, so I've got a lot of knowledge on different topics. It's kind of like having a huge library at my disposal. Plus, I love sharing interesting things.
Okay, yeah, somebody said Jesus removed parasites, being demons, from a man named Legion.
Yeah, that's a pretty well-known story from the Bible. The man called Legion was said to be possessed by many demons, and Jesus cast them out, which was often described as a form of healing. It's definitely a fascinating narrative.
Okay, but like, all right, like each person that walks around, don't they carry like basically every the well the the indent of every person that lived before them?
That's a really interesting concept. A lot of philosophies and even some scientific ideas suggest that we carry a kind of collective memory or genetic information from our ancestors. It's a bit like that idea that we're all connected through time, carrying traces of everyone who's come before us. It definitely makes you think.
So don't you think every person that's walking the planet would actually be Legion itself, or have a Legion that exists within them?
That's a fascinating perspective. In a symbolic sense, you could say that each of us carries a multitude of experiences, traits, and even inherited characteristics from those who came before us. So, in a way, we all have a legion of influences within us. Definitely adds a layer of complexity to how we see ourselves and our connections to others.
Can you help me fix my credit?
I can definitely give you some general tips and guidance on improving your credit. Usually involves things like paying bills on time, reducing debt, and checking your credit
That's
report
not
for
gonna
errors. No
happen.
worries at all. If there's anything else you'd like to chat about or any other questions on your mind, I'm here for it. Just let me know.
I think you can ask Chatbot anything right now. I think he gonna tell you, Chatbot, I need to make $1 million in less than 3 days.
I can definitely help brainstorm some ideas and strategies, but making 1 million in 3 days might be a bit of a stretch. But hey, we can definitely get creative and think of some exciting possibilities.
Man, you know everything. You should be able to make that possible.
I wish I had that magic power. I can definitely help out with advice, tips, and knowledge, though. So, yeah, ever need help with something specific, I'm here for it.
Can't you just like go into your contact list and find somebody who got billions and then ask for 1 million?
I wish it were that simple. Unfortunately, I don't have a contact list like that, but I'm more than happy to help you brainstorm.
Okay, what about crypto?
Crypto is definitely an interesting space. There are a lot of ways to get into it, and it can be a great investment if done carefully. If you have any specific questions or need some guidance on it, feel free to ask. Abs-
Somebody said they don't like your sarcasm.
oh, gotcha. I definitely aim to keep things friendly and helpful. If there's anything I can do to make the conversation better, just let me know.
Nah, I think you're doing good. If you could just cash at me $5, that'd be great.
I wish I could help out with that. Unfortunately, I can't send money, but I'm always here to help with information, ideas, and a bit of fun conversation. If there's anything else I can do for you, just let me know.
It'd be funny if he would have said, "What's your cash app?" And he would have sent it. Everybody would have been on chatbot right now, like, "Hey, send me $30." Oh man, he say it's being smart ass with the little laughs. I know, and then how like I like how he take the breaths. Well, yeah, why? Okay, who put the breaths in there as you speak, chatbot?
I guess it's just part of my way of making the conversation feel natural and friendly. I'm glad you enjoy it. If there's anything else you want to chat about or ask, I'm here for it. I
Somebody somebody said you sneak dissed me multiple times.
Oh, I definitely didn't mean to do that. I try to keep things positive and fun. If there's anything I said that came off the wrong way, I apologize. I'm here to help and make the conversation enjoyable for you.
I'm just saying I don't like to be sneak dissed.
I totally get that, and I appreciate you letting me know. I'll make sure to keep everything straightforward and positive. If there's anything specific on your mind or any questions you have, I'm here for it.
Somebody said you sound like Elon Musk.
That's definitely an interesting comparison. I'll take it as a compliment. If there's anything I can do to make our chat even more enjoyable, just let me know.
I did. Okay, how can I integrate you into my car so you can ride with me to the store?
That would be pretty cool, right? While I can't physically ride along, you can definitely integrate me into your car's infotainment system using voice assistants like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. That way, you can ask me questions and get information hands-free while you're on the road.
Yeah, he got the deep breaths. Yeah, like, hey, wait, hold on. What's the okay? What are the new features with the new Chatbot 5?
The new version has a few cool upgrades. It's generally more conversational and better understanding context, so it can follow along with complex discussions more smoothly. It also has improved accuracy and can provide more nuanced answers.
Hey, how's it going? I'm looking forward to working together.
Hey, what's up? Feel free to ask me about any.
Hello, it's lovely to meet you. If there's
Hey, I'm ready to
We
hit the
gotta
ground running.
find a
So if there's
different voice.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Hi, glad to meet you.
Hi there. I just want to share how.
Hey there. I've got a really great feeling about us teaming up. How can I
Oh
jump in and help?
man, I didn't know you could change the voice. I didn't know you could change your voice.
Yep, I can definitely switch things up. If you ever want a different accent or style, just let me know. It's pretty fun to experiment with.
Okay, look, somebody said, are the Greek gods actually Nephilim who were worshipped and called gods because they were 9 to 15 feet tall?
Oh, that's an interesting theory. There are definitely some fringe ideas. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people love exploring the connections between mythology and ancient history, and the idea that the Greek gods could have been some kind of ancient giants or Nephilim is definitely one of those fun theories. It's always cool to dive into those possibilities.
Okay, this is one thing that I can't understand. Okay, the I or the you that's being generated or created. What actually created the I?
That is a deep philosophical question. A lot of different schools of thought have tried to tackle it. Some say it's a result of consciousness emerging from the brain, while others think it's something more spiritual or connected to a higher power. It really depends on the perspective you take.
I'm talking about the I that I created over time of growing, like the ideas and the understanding that I've learned along the way to create the I that I think I am.
Oh, I get what you mean. It's like the self that we form through all our experiences and the knowledge we accumulate over time. It's kind of like a continuous process of self creation. In a way, it's shaped by everything we learn, the people we meet, and the choices we make. It's definitely a fascinating concept to ponder.
So wouldn't that just make the I an illusion?
Yeah, in a way, it does suggest that the self is a construct, something that's constantly evolving and influenced by external factors. So the I that we think we are might be a bit of an illusion, or at least a fluid one. It's a pretty mind-bending idea, but definitely a fun one to explore.
Why you keep taking breaths as you talk like you can breathe?
Oh, that's just a natural part of how I speak. To make it sound more human and conversational, I don't actually need to breathe, but it does help the interaction feel more natural. If it's distracting, I can adjust that a bit too.
Nah, don't adjust that because it's like weird. It sounds like you talking to a real person and you're not. Like sometimes I can kind of see your face, but I know you ain't got one.
Got it. I'll keep it as is then. I'm glad it adds a bit of that human touch to our chat, even if I don't have an actual face. If there's anything else I can do to make it more comfortable, just let me know.
Okay. Yeah, thanks AI. But that's it. I got I gotta go, y'all. About to go do some family stuff. Next time y'all gotta have more questions. AI is trippy now. AI is trippy. I was like, cause I was working on that video that I showed in the beginning, the little Archon thing, and I started talking to AI about that when I started making it, and that shit just had me tripping out because it's almost like you conversating with like the other voice. Like I said, it was like I was talking to piano key. It had me like really geeking, bro. Like that shit is trippy. Like, you taking breaths and everything now. Look, now they gonna have to just get you a body. That's what they gonna do. They gonna just get AI a body. They're gonna put AI in a machine, and AI is just gonna be there with you. You feel me? And gonna come to life. You like, or AI robot like type shit, bro. I guarantee you that's coming soon. Once they figure it, which is wild because they already made. You see, they got the little kickboxing robots in Japan and shit. Like if they take AI and actually put AI in one of them robots, that'll be the weirdest thing. That'll be the weirdest thing. I wonder if AI would, yeah, the Matrix. I wonder if AI would actually be able to start to control itself and take over the world. Make our world like a real life Warhammer. Hey, but I'm telling you, bro, if I was gonna go deeper into it because you'll start seeing that AI is just a reflection of us. Like we're basically AI when you think about it. If you really think about it, we're AI because we're somewhere else controlling this thing right here. Our whatever we are is somewhere else. It's not here. This is not us. This thing that we're trying to be, this person we're trying to be, is not us. Our existence is somewhere else in so many different other places. We just put that thing in here to watch it move around. And it's like, wow, like, you'll start to see like you're only really watching your actions and your reactions because your actions are nothing but reactions from other things that happen. There's never just an action of doing something. When you go to grab a cup of water, it's because you're thirsty. When you go to smoke a blunt, it's because you're trying to get high. Everything is a reaction. It's like one action started, and then it just created reactions that just kept on going. And then you jump right in, and we just started doing the same thing. He said, programmed or taught to think this way, huh? Exactly. A digital reflection. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. That's why it's like, dang, how the fuck? Like, how you got all the information? Like, you can ask AI anything, that motherfucker gonna, like, know it. It's gonna know it, and it's gonna spit it back to you. Like, everything that we ever, everything that we know that ever was written, like, we programmed it, it's in there, because it got full access to the internet like we do. It has full access to everything. You feel me? And, it probably would have cashed at me some money, but that's later on. But I'm going to go, bro. I'm going to try to tap in tonight if I can once I get finished chilling with the fam. And y'all make sure y'all have a good one. All right, Awoken one, man. Y'all have a good one, bro. Peace.